Hello and welcome to the Important Sites series of Shikara Academy. In this fourth session, we will be discussing all the important sites that are located in the state of Kerala. So, this is our session 4 on the important sites that are in Kerala. Well, now in session 1, we have discussed the important sites that are in state of Telangana. In session 2, we have discussed about the important sites in the state of Andhra Pradesh. In session 3, part 1 and part 2, we have discussed about the important sites in the state of Tamil Nadu. Now, in this fourth session, we will be discussing the important sites that are present in Kerala. Now, when I say that important sites, what I infer is the sites that are of environment value or of cultural value. So, mostly from the examination point of view, environmental sites are mostly asked. So, the type of environmental sites can be the tiger reserves, the elephant reserves, the biosphere reserves, the Ramsar wetland sites, the World Heritage sites, both cultural as well as natural, and mixed sites are also there. Biodiversity heritage sites, the marine protected areas, the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, and community reserves. Now, starting our discussion on the important sites in Kerala. So, we start with the biosphere reserves. Now, biosphere reserve in Kerala, it doesn't have a standalone biosphere reserve. The Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is present in part in Kerala and it spreads across 6 different states in India. So, the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserves, it forms just a like Kerala. In Kerala, there is only a part of this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. So, the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is spread across 3 states, that is Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka. Sorry for the earlier mistake, that it is spread across 3 states, that is Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. It covers the part of Nilgiris, Erode, and Coimbatore districts in Tamil Nadu, and Wayanad and Palakkad districts in Kerala. So, 2 districts of Kerala. And it is the first biosphere reserve in India established in 1986. The first biosphere reserve in India established in 1986, and it lies in the Western Ghats, and it includes the Nilgiri Hills from which it gets its name, the Moyar Gorge, and the Bhavani Basin. The major rivers. So, for all the biosphere reserves or the forested area or the protected areas, remembering the major rivers that are flowing through the reserve or that are uh, making a boundary with the reserve is very important. So, the major rivers in this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is the Bhavani River, the Moyar River, the Kabini River, the Paikara River, and the Chaliyar River. So, this Chaliyar River, it drains into Arabian Sea. The Moyar River is the tributary of Bhavani River, and the Bhavani River ultimately is a tributary of Kaveri River, which empties into the Bay of Bengal. Now, it includes the important protected areas. So, important protected areas. So, this entire biosphere reserve, it has certain important protected areas in it. It is the Mudumalai, Bandipur, and Nagarhole Wildlife and Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuaries, the Silent Valley National Park that is in Kerala, the Satyamangala, Mukurti, and Aralam reserves. The type of vegetation in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen moist deciduous, dry deciduous type of vegetation is there. Now, important flora includes 3,000 species of flowering plants, and there is very high degree of endemism. More than 1,000 endemic species of plants or flora are there. And these species include, tree species include teak, rosewood, shola species, Kulinia, and Hopia. The fauna, that is, the animals include the tiger, the Asian elephant, the gaur, sloth bear, and Indian leopard. Endemics include the Nilgiri tar, lion-tailed macaque, and Nilgiri langur and Malabar civet, along with the important bird species such as the Malabar grey hornbill, and Nilgiri flycatcher. The significance of this biosphere reserve that it was the first biosphere reserve in India. The Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is the first biosphere reserve in India and is also the part of the UNESCO World Network of Biosphere Reserves since 2000. And it is recognized for its exceptional biodiversity and high endemism. And it also serves as important genetic link between the multiple protected areas across these three states. So across these three states, we have the different wildlife sanctuaries, different tiger reserves, different national parks, and this entire biosphere reserve, this entire region, it serves as the genetic link for the uh, population in these different states, that is population of animals, that is population of biodiversity, that is in these three states. And it is a critical elephant and tiger habitat and is both protected under Project Elephant as well as Project Tiger. And it is home to indigenous tribal groups. So after the rivers or the water bodies, the tribal groups that are found in the particular protected forest or in a particular region is another very important thing to note. So the tribal groups here are the Todas, the Irulas, Kurumbas, Badagas, and Panias. And this entire region, ecosystem services include climate regulation, watershed management, and ecological connectivity. Now, the second biosphere reserve is the Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve. And this Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve is also spread across two states, that is Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So it's spread across the southern western Ghats in Tamil Nadu and Kerala, and it covers the part of the Thiruvananthapuram district, Kanyakumari district, and Tirunelveli district. And it is named after the Agastyamalai Peak. And Agastyamalai Peak is important cultural and ecological site. It is also part of the Western Ghats landscape, and the major peak is the Mount Agastyamalai or the Peak Agastyamalai. And the important rivers here are the Karmana River, the Nayar River, the Vamanpuram River, and this Nayar River is the major river that flows into the Arabian Sea. Okay. Now, it also includes some important protected areas. Just like the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, the Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve also has certain protected areas. That is the Mudanathurai Tiger Reserve, the Peppara and Nayar Wildlife Sanctuaries. Now, the type of vegetation here is the tropical wet evergreen, semi-evergreen, moist deciduous type of vegetation. And there is very high level of rainfall and altitudinal variations. And that this rainfall and altitudinal variations is giving different type of, it is giving the variation in the vegetation as well. The important flora and fauna includes the trees, Mesua, Hopia, Colinia, and it is very rich in medicinal plants used by the tribals and used by the Ayurveda. The key species of fauna include tiger, Asian elephant, the gaur, sloth bear, and Nilgiri langur. Endemics that is found only in that particular region includes the lion-tailed macaque, Travancore tortoise, uh, Malabar civet, and Sri Lankan frogmouth. And it has also high diversity of amphibians, birds, and reptiles. The significance is that it has been designated as a biosphere reserve in 2001 and is included in UNESCO World Network of Biosphere Reserve in 2016. So both the biosphere reserves that are in Kerala, that is the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve and the Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve, both of them are recognized by UNESCO under its World Network of Biosphere Reserves. And it acts as a gene pool for rare and endemic species. It is sacred to local communities because the name Agastya Malai, the name of the peak from which we are getting the name of the biosphere reserve. So this Agastya Malai peak has got its name from the sage Agastya Malai, a rishi Agastya Malai, who is considered very sacred among the Hindus. It is inhabited by the Kani, Palian, and other tribal groups. So these are the two tribal groups that are found in the Agastyamalai region, or that is the Agastyamalai Biosphere Reserve area. Now let's discuss a couple of important national parks in Kerala. First is the Iravikulam National Park. Now it is situated in the Idukki district and lies in the southern western Ghats near Munnar, and it forms a part of the Annamalai hill range. It is located around the Annamudi peak. This Annamudi peak is the highest peak in South India, and we can say that it is the highest peak in Western Ghats. This is highest peak in Western Ghats. Okay, numerous streams and waterfalls that is part of the Periyar, Chalakudi, and Kaveri river basins. So these river basins are part of the. So this Iravikulam National Park is located in the river basins of these three rivers. The type of vegetation here is the montane, that is Shola grassland. Montane means mountainously vegetation is there. Tropical montane forests are there, and it is highly adapted for the cool and moist condition. There is high rainfall and it is mountain that is located at higher altitude, so it is also cooler. So cool and moist conditions are there. It is home to rare plants such as Neela Kuranji. Please make a note of this. Neela Kuranji is found in Iravikulam National Park, okay, which blooms only once in 12 years. Other flagship species include the Nilgiri tar, with the largest surviving population of Nilgiri tar is found in Iravikulam National Park, and other mammals include the gaur, sambar, the jungle cat, and leopard. Okay, there are important birds such as the black and orange flycatcher, Nilgiri wood pigeon, and white-bellied shortwing. The significance of the Iravikulam National Park is that it was declared a national park in 1978, and earlier, before being declared as a national park, it was a game sanctuary under the British rule. So Britishers, they used to play the hunting games in the Iravikulam National Park area, and it is recognized as a core area of the Annamalai Elephant Reserve and part of the Annamalai landscape. It is important for conservation of montane biodiversity, that is mountainous biodiversity, especially the Nilgiri tar that are found in mountainous regions, as well as the Neela Kuranji, which blooms once in 12 years. And it is a major hub of ecotourism and contributes. The ecosystem services include contribution to climate regulation and watershed functions in both the state of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The next national park is the Silent Valley National Park. It is located in the Palakkad district of Kerala and lies in the Nilgiri Hills and forms the part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. As we have seen when we were discussing about the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, the Silent Valley National Park is a very pristine, very majestic national park that is found in the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. And it is bounded by the Nilambur Forest Division in south, the Mukurti National Park in the north, and Attapadi Tribal Region in the east. The Kunti River flows through the this Silent Valley National Park. So this Kunti River is a tributary of the Bharatapuza River, and Bharatapuza River then drains into Arabian Sea. And the altitude ranges from 900 meters to 2400 or 2300 meters. The type of vegetation here is the tropical evergreen rainforest, like it is one of the last undisturbed tract in the Western Ghats. Okay, that is why it is really pristine and it is really uh, biodiversity rich. In important flora species includes the ferns, orchids, and mosses. The flagships in species of fauna include the lion-tailed macaque, the Nilgiri langur, Malabar giant squirrel, tigers, leopards, Indian elephant, gaur, and the birds include the Nilgiri wood pigeon, the Malabar Trojan, and the Ceylon frogmouth. So these are the important bird species, and these are the bird species are also important from the examination point of view, because in previous year's prelims examination, UPSC has directly given the name of this species and has asked whether these are birds, reptiles, insects, or plants. Then The reptiles include the king cobra and Malabar pit viper. The significance of this Silent Valley National Park is that it was declared a national park in 1984 and is named for its absence of cicada sounds. So cicada is a arthropoda, that is, it is an insect, and the Silent Valley National Park, the name it gets from the silence, because the silence is there because no cicada is are there and they do not make the cicada noise. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site as part of the Western Ghats serial site. So the Western Ghats, the entire landscape is a part of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and this Silent Valley National Park is a part of this Western Ghats World Heritage Site. And it is a core zone of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve and critical elephant habitat. And it is one of the most pristine or undisturbed tropical rainforests in India. Now let's discuss the tiger reserve. So we have discussed two biosphere reserves and we have discussed two national parks. Now let's discuss the tiger reserves that are in the state of Kerala. So first is the Periyar Tiger Reserve, located in the Idukki district and the Pathanamthitta Pathanamthitta district of Kerala. It lies in Western Ghats and it is centered around the Periyar Lake. Periyar River. So it is also getting its name from the Periyar River. So Periyar Lake is formed by the Mulla Periyar Dam that is across the Periyar River, and we know that this Periyar River is flowing into the Arabian Sea. Now the altitude here ranges from 100 meters to about 2000 meters, and the highest point is the Kottamalai. This Kottamalai is the highest point that is located inside the Periyar Tiger Reserve. Now, the important type of vegetation and important flora and fauna includes. So, the type of vegetation is tropical evergreen forest, semi-evergreen, moist deciduous, and montane grasslands. Because this entire region uh, is Western Ghats area, so the montane vegetation is also there. So, the notable trees include the teak, rosewood, terminalia, jamun, sandalwood, bamboo. And the animals that include the mammals, especially the Bengal tiger, the Indian elephant, gaur, leopard, Nilgiri langur, lion-tailed macaque, and sloth bear. Now, the important birds include the Malabar grey hornbill, Nilgiri wood pigeon, and great Indian hornbill. The reptile species include the king cobra, the vipers, the crocodiles, and different types of frogs. So, dozens of species of frogs are found in the Western Ghats landscape. Now, it was declared a tiger reserve in 1978 under Project Tiger. It is protected under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. It is also a Project Elephant site and an important bird area. So it is protected under both Project Tiger as well as Project Elephant. So therefore, along with the Periyar Tiger Reserve, we also have a Periyar Elephant Reserve that we'll be discussing later. The Periyar Lake ensures the year-round water availability, and it is critical part of the Western Ghat biodiversity and proposed UNESCO World Heritage Extension Area. So it is a proposed extension area of UNESCO World Heritage. Now, the next tiger reserve is the Parambikulam Tiger Reserve that is located in the Palakkad district, lies in the southern Western Ghats. It borders the Annamalai Tiger Reserve that is in Tamil Nadu. It encompasses undulating hills, valleys, and shola forests. Shola forests are the montane forests or mountainous regions. The major rivers includes the Parambikulam River, the Sholayar River. Now, this Parambikulam River, it is a tributary of Chalakudi River. This Chalakudi River then merges into Periyar River, and Periyar River empties into Arabian Sea. So it is getting its name from the Parambikulam river, which is a tributary of Chalakudi river. That itself is a tributary of Periyar, and the Periyar ultimately flows into the Arabian Sea. And it contains three reservoirs, most importantly the Parambikulam reservoir and the Peruvarripulam, that is created by dams. Now, the type of vegetation is the tropical moist deciduous forest and tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. It also has the Shola grassland, that is the mountainous grassland ecosystem, and the bamboo breaks and teak plantations. Including the historic Kanimara teak is one of the world's largest living teak trees. So make important note of this. This Kanimara teak is a teak tree that is world's largest living. It is one of the world's largest living teak trees. Now, important flora includes the teak, rosewood, sandalwood, bamboo, and terminalia species, along with the medicinal plants. The mammals include the tiger, elephant reserve, Indian elephant, leopard, gaur, nilgiri tar, sloth bear, and line-tailed macaque. In species of birds and in species of reptiles, birds includes the Malabar pied hornbill, grey-headed bulbul, and white-bellied trippi, and king cobra is extensively found in this particular region. It was declared a tiger reserve in 2010 and forms a ecological critical part in the Western Ghats biodiversity hotspot. It is known for successful community-based ecotourism, and it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, just as the Silent Valley National Park along in the Western Ghats World Heritage Site, and is a key critical corridor for the elephant population as well as the tiger movement across the different states, that is Kerala and Tamil Nadu. The elephant population migrating from Kerala and moving between Kerala and Tamil Nadu, and the tiger population moving between Kerala and Tamil Nadu, they use this Parambikulam Tiger Reserve. Now we discuss the important elephant reserves. The most important is the Wayanad Elephant Reserve, that is located in the Wayanad district and is part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve and the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. It is bordering Karnataka, Nagarhole and Bandipur National Park, and Tamil Nadu, that is Mudumalai National Park. And it lies between the Kabini River, the Panamaram River, and the Manthavadi rivers. And the average elevation is 700 to 2100 meter elevation is there. The type of vegetation includes tropical moist deciduous forest, semi-evergreen forest, evergreen patches at higher elevations, and the common species are teak, rosewood, terminalia, and bamboo. It is largest Asian elephant population in India. So a large population of elephants is found in the Wayanad Elephant Reserve. The other mammals includes the tigers, the leopards, gaurs, sambar, Malabar giant squirrel, line-tailed macaque. And the reptiles includes the king cobra and various others. So in Kerala, there are this king cobra species of reptiles is extensively found in all the what I would say the protected areas in all the forested area of Kerala. There is, or in the lower Western Ghats, the this king cobra is found. Now, the birds includes the Malabar grey hornbill, the great Indian hornbill, and crested serpent eagle. It was declared Elephant Reserve in 2002 under Project Elephant and forms an essential link between the Nilgiri Eastern Ghats Elephant Corridor. It supports long distance elephant migration between Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka. So between these three states, the movement of elephants. So it supports this Wayanad Elephant Reserve supports the movement of elephants across all the three states, and it is part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. As we have discussed earlier when we were discussing the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, both the Silent Valley National Park as well as the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary or the Wildlife Elephant Reserve, they are part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. And it is this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve is recognized under UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program. Now, third, we have the Anamudi Elephant Reserve. Second, we have the Anamudi Elephant Reserve that is located in Idukki district, and it is named after the Anamudi Peak, which is the highest peak in South India, or that is, it is the Anamudi Peak is the highest peak in Western Ghats. It includes part of the Periyar and Chalakudi river basins and features the Anamudi Peak, the highest peak point in the peninsular India, or the highest point in South India, or it is the highest peak in the Western Ghats. Now, the type of vegetation is montane shola forest, tropical evergreen, semi-evergreen type of forest, and it also has riverine vegetation. Important flora and fauna species includes the rhododendron, the Neela Kuranji. On this Anamudai, we have Neela Kuranji. The Nilgiri tar, the gaur, the tiger, leopard, sloth bear, Indian giant squirrel, grizzled giant squirrel. These are the important fauna species that are, or the animal species that are found. The important bird species here include the Nilgiri wood pigeon, the black and orange flycatcher, and other endemic species. The Travancore tortoise and the king cobra are the important reptile species that are present in the Anamudi Elephant Reserve. Now, the significance, it was declared Elephant Reserve in 2002 under the Project Elephant and serves as a vital and habitat and elephant corridor connecting the Parambikulam, Periyar and Srivilliputur landscapes. It contains the Iravikulam National Park, the only natural habitat of the endangered Nilgiri tar. Now, the next elephant reserve is the Nilambur Elephant Reserve. It is situated in Malappuram district and it borders Tamil Nadu and forms a part of the broader Nilgiri biosphere landscape. Okay, it lies across the Chaliyar River basin. The type of vegetation is moist deciduous forest and features one of the world's oldest teak plantation, that is Conolloy's plot. So this Conolloy plot is it is one of the world's oldest teak plantations. Okay, and it includes the bamboo breaks. It is rich in teak, rosewood, terminalia, largostomia, and many medicinal and endemic plant species. It is a key habitat for the Asian elephants because it is an elephant reserve and it provides a critical habitat as well as the corridor for the movement of elephant population from one area to the other area or one state from the other state. Other mammals includes the tigers, leopards, gaur, the sambar, the sloth bear, and Malabar giant squirrel. The reptiles, the king cobra is there, the Malabar grey hornbill is there, the white-bellied woodpecker, and emerald dove. So these are the important bird species. It was declared Elephant Reserve in 2002 under the Project Elephant and forms a critical elephant corridor. So it is a critical elephant habitat as well as a critical habitat elephant corridor linking the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve with the Silent Valley and Mutumalai Bandipur landscape. It is vital for the human-elephant conflict management in North Kerala. So these elephant reserves, these are also vital to keep a check on the elephant or human conflict or the wild or human conflict. And also it is known for the Nilambur teak and plays a key role in Western Ghats biodiversity conservation and watershed facility. Now, the next elephant reserve is the Periyar Elephant Reserve. We have discussed about the Periyar Tiger Reserve. So, along the same lines, because this Periyar National Park region, that Periyar National Park region, it is protected under both Project Tiger as well as Project Elephant. Therefore, most of things are the common, but like it overlaps, majorly it overlaps the Periyar Tiger Reserve and parts of the Rani Gudrikal Forest divisions. It encompasses the Periyar River basin and with the Periyar Lake. Periyar Lake is formed by the Mula Periyar Dam that is on the Periyar River. Periyar River ultimately drains into the Arabian Sea. The terrain is mountainous and there is altitude ranges from 100 meter to over 2000 meter. The highest peak is the Kottamalai peak, and we have discussed this already when we have discussed about the Periyar Tiger Reserve. Now, the type of vegetation here is the tropical evergreen and semi-evergreen forest. The significant population of Asian elephants is there. Other animals include the tigers and the king cobra, Travancore tortoise, and the endemic frog, just like the Periyar Tiger Reserve. Now, it was declared a tiger reserve, an elephant reserve in 2002 under Project Elephant. So, till now, all the elephant reserves that we have seen were declared in 2002. The core of the reserve is also well-managed tiger reserve, that is the Periyar Tiger Reserve, ensuring the dual conservation. And it acts as a key elephant corridor connecting the Srivilliputtur, Agastyamalai, and Annamalai landscapes. Now, moving on to the heritage sites. Okay, so this Western Ghats is a UNESCO Natural World Heritage Site, and this particular heritage site, that is Western Ghats, is spread across the 6 states in India. So it stretches along the western edge of the Deccan Plateau through 6 states, including Kerala, and it runs parallel to the western coasts from the Tapti River to the Kanyakumari in the south. So Tapti River is forming the northern boundary, and the Kanyakumari is forming the southernmost boundary of the Western Ghats. It is a mountain range with elevation of 500 meters to over 2600 meters. Highest peak is the Anamudi peak. Okay, that is in Kerala. Major rivers originating are Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Periyar, Bharatpooja, and Tungabhadra River. It includes numerous valleys, waterfalls, and it divides the Konkan Malabar coast. So Konkan Malabar coast is the western coast of India from the Deccan Plateau. Okay, so this Western Ghats landscapes, this so if this is the Deccan Plateau, so this Western Ghats runs across the western coast, and this is the Konkan coast, and this is our Malabar coast, and this is the Deccan Plateau. So from the Deccan Plateau, this Western Ghats is separating the Deccan Plateau from the coastal regions. Now, the vegetation here is the type of vegetation is the tropical evergreen forest, semi-evergreen, and the important flora. It is a hottest. It is among the 8 hottest hotspots. So the entire Western Ghats landscape is a biodiversity hotspot region, and it is one of the most hot. That is, it is the hottest. It is among the 8 hottest biodiversity hotspot regions in the world, and over 7,400 species of plants are found here, out of which 1,500 of them are the endemic. And fauna includes the tiger, the Asian elephant, the gaur, Nilgiri tar, lion-tailed macaque, all the species that we have seen. So all the national parks or all the tiger reserves, all the elephant reserves that we have discussed till now. So all of them are like the thing that is common to all of them, that all of them were in the Western Ghats region. So that is why the species there that are found, the the flora species or the fauna species are more or less the same in all these regions. Okay, there is high endemism in amphibians, reptiles, and butterflies as well. It was designated a UNESCO Natural Heritage Site in 2012 and includes 39 serial or protected sites. That is, 20 of them are in Kerala, 5 are in Tamil Nadu, 10 are in state of Karnataka, and 4 in Maharashtra. And it is critical. This entire Western Ghats landscape is critical for the climate regulation, monsoon patterns, and watershed protection. And it is home to numerous tribal groups, numerous tribal population is also found in the Western Ghats landscape. Now, after the World Heritage Site, that is the Western Ghats World Heritage Site, Natural World Heritage Site. Kerala, currently we do not have a cultural site. So now let's discuss the biodiversity heritage site. Now, what is the biodiversity heritage site here? Is the Asramam Biodiversity Heritage Site. This is located in the Kollam city, the Kollam district, and is situated along the Ashtamudi Lake coast. And it lies in the southwestern part of Kerala in the coastal zone of the state. So it is lies in the Kollam district. Kollam district is a coastal district, and it includes the wetlands, it includes the mangroves, the semi-urban green patches. It lies in the Ashtamudi Lake. The Ashtamudi Lake is a Ramsar protected site. It is a Ramsar site. It is a wetland that is protected under Ramsar Convention. The type of vegetation here is the mangrove and semi-mangrove vegetation, and it acts as a transition zone between the urban landscape and the aquatic ecosystems. So this biodiversity heritage site, Asraram, Asramam Biodiversity Heritage Site, it is a transition zone between the urban landscape of the Kollam city and the aquatic ecosystem that is of the Ashtamudi Lake. And it was declared a biodiversity heritage site in 2019 under the Biological Diversity Act. So this is a very important point to note that all the protected areas that we have discussed till now, the tiger reserves, the wildlife sanctuaries, the uh, national parks, all of them are declared under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. But these biodiversity heritage sites, they are declared under the Biological Diversity Act of 2002. And it is one of the few urban biodiversity heritage sites in India and acts as a green lung and natural classroom in rapidly urbanizing region. So it acts like a green lung to the city of Kollam. It supports climate resilience, pollution control, and flood mitigation, promotes community engagement, eco-education, as well as conservation awareness. Now, after the heritage sites, the natural heritage site as well as the biodiversity heritage site, now let's discuss the community reserve. So these community reserves are also declared under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. Okay. In Kerala, we have this Kadalundi Valikunnu Community Reserve. Please do not mind the pronunciation. If any mispronunciation is done, it is entirely unintentional and is therefore shall not be, you should not be uh, just fixated to it. Okay, thank you. So it spans the Malappuram as well as the Kozhikode districts. This is a community reserve, and it lies along the Malabar coast, forming part of the coastal wetland ecosystem. It is formed by islands, tidal mudflats, sandbanks, and shallow estuarine waters. It lies at the mouth of the Kadalundi River, which drains into the Arabian Sea. So this Kadalundi River, this important community reserve, it lies at the mouth of the Kadalundi River at the coastal region, and this Kadalundi River ultimately drains into the Arabian Sea. Now, the vegetation it is dominated by the mangrove forest and the estuarine vegetation because it is situated at estuaries, and mangrove vegetation is there because it is at the coastal region. So the species here, the flora species are rich in halophytic, that is salt tolerant plant species are there. Now, the significance of this community reserve, why the community reserve is important is because it was declared Kerala's first community reserve in 2007 under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. And it is an important stopover site for the migratory birds in the Central Asian flyway. So this Central Asian flyway, like as in case of the previous uh, discussion of Andhra Pradesh sites and the Tamil Nadu sites, I have discussed that there are from India we have the three major migratory flyways. So in India we have three major migratory flyways. That is one of is the Central Asian. Second is the Asian East African, and we have the East Asian Australasian. So these are the three major migratory flyways uh, which pass through India, Central Asian Flyway, the Asian East African Flyway, the East Asian Australasian Flyway. And it acts as a nursery for the marine life. It has potential for ecotourism and ornithology research, that is the bird research. Ornitholo- ornithology is the study of birds. It helps to maintain the coastal biodiversity and protects the against the shoreline erosion because of the presence of mangroves. Now we discuss the important Ramsar sites that are in the state of Kerala. That is, first is the Ashtamudi wetland, as we have seen just a couple of slides back. That is the when we were discussing about the community reserve, Kalamudi community reserve. So this Ashtamudi wetland, it is situated in the Kollam district of Kerala, and it is one of the largest estuarine systems in Kerala, connected to the Vembanad cold wetland. So this Vembanad cold wetland is also a Ramsar site, and these two are connected. This Ashtamudi wetland and the Vembanad cold wetland, these are connected, and they are forming the largest estuarine uh, system in Kerala. The area is approximately 615 square kilometer, and it comprises of estuary 8 arms. So the name Asht means 8 coned. That is, it has 8 arms. It has mangrove forest, mudflats and canals, and it is fed by rivers like Kalada, which with a fresh seawater mixing. So these wetlands, they have a mixture of fresh water as well as the seawater. Okay, it connects to the Arabian Sea via the Needakara Azikal estuary. The Neendakara Azikal estuary. It connects Arabian Sea via this Neendakara Azira uh, Azikal estuary. The tidal and seasonal influences shape its hydrology and salinity patterns. Now, the type of vegetation here is the mainly mangrove vegetation. The coconut groves are there, aquatic grasses, and riparian vegetation. It was declared a Ramsar site in 2002, and it supports the sustainable livelihood, especially among clam fishing and coir retting. Now, it is vital for the migratory birds and biodiversity conservation in coastal Kerala, and it functions as a natural flood buffer because uh, mangroves are there. It is an important carbon sink. These wetlands, they are an important carbon sink and the breeding ground for marine life. Okay, but this is under threat, and we need to protect it because the threat is from pollution, the tourism pressure, and the urban encroachment. The second Ramsar site is the Vembanad Coal wetland. It spans across the Alappuzha, Kottayam, Ernakulam, and Trishul districts of Kerala, and is located along the Malabar coast. It is the longest lake in India. So it is the longest lake in India and the largest wetland system in Kerala. And it lies between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. So Western Ghats is like going from here. So this Vembanad coal wetland, this wetland is lying between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea. It is composed of lagoons, estuaries, and mangrove forests, and it the marshes, canals, and the agricultural polders. So it is famous. This Vembanad coal wetland is famous for the below sea level farming. It is fed by 10 rivers, including the Minachal, the Pampa, and the Periyar River, and it experiences tidal influence and seasonal freshwater inflows. It is linked to Ashtamudi Lake and the Kuttanad region. The vegetation is mainly predominantly it is mangroves and aquatic plants. It also has agriculture, that is below sea level farming is there. That is there is cultivated wetland crops like rice in the Kuttanad area. It is crucial for the Kuttanad farming system, which is the below sea level farming system. In the Kuttunad farming system, the rice is grown below the sea level and it acts as a natural flood control system because of the presence of mangroves. It faces threat from the pollution, the invasive species like the water hyacinth, land reclamation, and excessive tourism. Now, the next Ramsar site is the Shashtamkota Lake. It is situated. It is also situated in the Kollam district, so it is situated somewhat here, and it is not a coastal lake or it is not a coastal Ramsar site. It is located about 29 kilometers from Kollam city. It lies in the southern western coastal plains of India. So it is the largest freshwater lake in Kerala. The Shashtamkota Lake is the largest freshwater lake of Kerala. It is a freshwater lake and is fed entirely by underground springs. It has, even though it is a freshwater lake, it has no inlet. That is, no major rivers. No rivers are falling into this particular lake or emptying into this particular lake. It is surrounded by hills on three sides, with the fourth side opening into a valley. It drains into Kallada River via an artificial outlet. The vegetation here is the freshwater aquatic vegetation because it is a freshwater lake. So the vegetation is the freshwater aquatic vegetation. No mangroves are there because it is a freshwater lake and it has the inland location. So the two factors that are important for the development of mangroves is the availability of seawater or the brackish or saline water, and second is the coastal location. But this particular lake, the Shashtamkota Lake, is both inland as well as it is freshwater. Therefore, no mangroves are found in Shashtamkota Lake. Please do make note of this thing. It was declared a Ramsar site in 2002 for its hydrological, ecological, and cultural value, and it is main source of drinking water for the city of Kollam, and it is considered sacred by locals, associated with the Shashta temple that is on its bank. So, the name Shashtamkota Lake is uh, it is getting its name from the Shashta temple that is which is considered sacred by the locals. It acts as a natural freshwater reservoir with no saline intrusion. So it has no saline intrusion that so the water remains the fresh water. It faces ecological threats, same threats as the other lakes are facing. That is the pollution, the tourism pressure, and the eutrophication. So it is a freshwater lake. So freshwater lakes are more bound to be affected by the process of eutrophication, that is uh, decreasing oxygen supply and increasing algal blooms. So that was all the discussion of the important sites in Kerala. We have discussed the sites that are, we have discussed the tiger reserves, we have discussed the elephant reserves, the biosphere reserves, the Ramsar wetland sites, the World Heritage Site, that is the natural site. We have discussed the biodiversity heritage site, and we have discussed the marine protected area, that is what the community reserve. That we discussed was also a marine protected area. We discussed the national park and we discussed the wildlife sanctuaries. So conservation reserve, they are there are no conservation reserves in Kerala as of now. So that was the session 4 of the important sites in Kerala. The series will be continuing with the in the next session. In the session 5, we will be discussing about the important sites in the state of Karnataka. Till then, thank you.